Hello Year 10, some of the things that we're doing today are going to be covering some areas that we've already kind of slightly looked at a little bit in our Germany unit, but expand greatly on those. So the first thing you need to do is look at this source. Ideally, if you can, print it out and stick it into your book, but if not, just bullet point notes below is absolutely fine. But I want you to take some notes on what you see, what you think the message from the cartoonist is, or what he or she is trying to say, and what further observations you have, or what the wider implications of this are. Okay. Then we get into what we are looking at today, which is how significant were Hitler's aims in foreign policy. Our main objective is to really know those aims and to make a bit of a judgment about the significance of those aims. So the big task I really want you to do is there is some information on a following slide about what Hitler's aims were, and I just want you to, in the table provided, explain what each aim involved doing and what the obstacles were that stood in the way of Hitler achieving those aims. Again, we need to really ensure that we have depth here. Just a couple of lines or a few words isn't really going to give you what you need in order to be able to be comfortable answering exam questions. You really must take depth. Make sure that you highlight any kind of key bits of information, any examples of sped, or just anything that you think could be crucial, to make sure that you highlight or underline that if you haven't got a highlighter. And then once you've completed that table, I want you to answer the question with at least a paragraph: which of these aims would be most likely to cause war? Okay, you're thinking perhaps in the perspective of someone who was there at the time, because we know obviously now what happened, and we know with the benefit of hindsight what went on. But which of Hitler's aims were the riskiest when it came to potentially starting a war back in the 1930s? So this is the handout that I'm referring to, and those are the three aims, and there is a Word document attached that looks like this, and you need to fill it in. Again, ideally print it out and fill in yourself, although feel free to type it in and print it out and stick it into your book. But what those aims involved doing and what obstacles there were. And then remember answering that question of which aim was the riskiest for potentially causing a war. And then finally, onto this question, onto this task, which is to update your notes in a different colour, using what you've learned from the aims handout and what you've done in that table, to try to explain a bit more about what this source tells us and what further observations you may have. This is a source that we'll come back to in our next lesson as well. So do really try and study it, think about what it means, what's going on, what is meant by each of the features in it, what do we mean by spineless leaders of democracy, look at what's written on the back of those men's backs, and why is Hitler portrayed in that way. Okay, so enough to be getting on with there. Any problems, get in touch. Otherwise, submit your work on Frog or to me by email. Best of luck.